Yeah, hi there, Isa. And I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And you made 2 comments on 2 separate pages of my website, so you have definitely got my attention. So let's take a look at each of the comments, and then I will suggest a study plan for you based on where you are right now. So you say, hi Michael, and your first comment was on my join web page to my online TOEFL course. So you say, I want to start preparing for the TOEFL. It's been a year. Right now, great time for me. Have problems with grammar, writing, maybe reading too. I'm totally ready to start fighting with my English. So you understand the excuse me, I have a cold right now, but you understand the magnitude of how difficult it is to prepare for the TOEFL by using the word fight. Other students also refer to the TOEFL as a journey because we don't usually, not necessarily right away, get whatever the target score is that we want, but it may take a few months before we get there. All right, you also made a comment on the TOEFL IBT grammar practice webpage. It says here, I never study English at school. I just know how to talk. I have problems with my grammar and writing. I'm not good in reading. I want to start over past TOEFL for my future career. All right. All right, let's take a look at some things that you can do right now to begin preparing for the TOEFL exam. And the main thing is, my philosophy is, and my suggestions, my study plan, Isa, will not only help you score high on the TOEFL IBT, but it will build long-term academic English language proficiency. Long after you're done with the TOEFL IBT exam, you'll have the reading, the listening, the writing, and the speaking that you need in order to excel. If you need English for a job, my plan is going to help you in all of those different situations. So here are my suggestions. So number 1, read each day for 45 minutes. Now you can read newspapers, magazines, and maybe books. Now, during this reading practice, you don't need to stop every time you see a word you don't know. The main thing is you're getting used to concentrating in English. You're building the strength and the stamina that you need, so when you take the TOEFL IBT, you will be accustomed to reading for longer periods of time. Number 2, listen for about 45 minutes every day. Now here, news programs, documentary programs, history programs, especially science, is also very valuable here, very, very helpful. Now, if you have English TV, this is what you're doing. Now, if not, I have 3 specific websites that you can use that will help you with your English language abilities. I'm going to put them here. National Public Radio. That's a good one. Number 2 is called TED Talks. Number 3 is Randall's Cyber Listening Lab. Now these are all good. Now this is important. As you do the reading and the listening practice, Isa, you want to get in the habit of note-taking. Now maybe we'll bring this down to your third point here. So again, you're focusing a lot on your note-taking. You're trying to get down the main points and the most important supporting points of the reading and the listening passages. Now using your notes, write 3 250 word summaries each week. This is important. You want to write 3 250 word summaries each week. These summaries will be based on the reading and the listening passages that you're practicing. Now, the reason that I recommend National Public Radio is you can find reading and listening passages on the same topic, which is very good practice for the integrated speaking and integrated writing. Now, also using your notes, you want to give maybe 3 60-second oral responses each week. This is also important. Again, the oral responses are coming from the notes, and the notes are coming from the reading and the listening passages that you're practicing. Remember that you should make a recording of these oral responses, and then you can play it back, and you can pay attention to your delivery, which means pronunciation. You can also pay attention to your language use, which refers to the grammar and the vocabulary that you're using. And you can also check your topic development, which refers to how you organize and develop your responses. If you just do these 3 things each week, this is a very good start. Now, how long does all this take? If you do this on a daily basis, you're probably looking at about 2 hours a day of doing the reading, listening, and then the speaking and the writing practice. Now, the next thing is I'm going to recommend my online TOEFL course. You can probably spend 1 to 2 hours daily. Remember that you're only going to make gains if you practice. If you think about what you want to do all the time but you never do it, and you don't actually begin practicing, you're not making progress. So if you spend 1 to 2 hours every day for the next few months in my online TOEFL course, you will excuse me, you will also continue to improve. Now, here's my recommendation first. I recommend, first of all, begin with the vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar lessons first. This is what I would do first. So you can schedule out each week. You can just say, okay, you can say week 1 I'll do vocabulary lesson 1, pronunciation lesson 1, and grammar lesson number 1. Maybe that's day 1. Then day 2 you'll do vocabulary lesson 2, pronunciation lesson 2, and grammar lesson 2. The main thing is, for the first 1 or 2 months, go through the vocabulary, pronunciation, and the grammar lessons. This is very important because this gives you a foundation. This gives you the building block of English that you need in order to do well on the reading, listening, speaking, and writing sections of the TOEFL IBT exam. Now, once you've gone through those lessons in the first 3 sections of my course, then you can go through the listening and the reading lessons. And again, like you did before, this might be month 2 or 3 when you get to this point. You do listening lesson 1, then reading lesson 1, then listening lesson 2, reading lesson 2. So you're kind of going back and forth with the listening and the reading. Now, don't forget, as you're going through my lessons, you're still doing the first 3 things on a day-to-day basis. You said you're willing to fight. I'm giving you the plan. If you want to be a soldier, a TOEFL soldier, this is what you can do that will have a very big impact on helping you do better with your academic English language abilities and ultimately helping you score higher on the TOEFL exam. All right, the next thing. Once you've gone through the listening and the reading lessons, then you can do the writing and the speaking lessons. This is also going to be very helpful. Again, when you get to this step, this will probably, you're probably looking at 1 to 2 months here, depending on how long it takes you to learn the words in the vocabulary section. Here, you're probably looking at about 1 to 2 months. And then here, I'd recommend maybe 2 months of good practice. Now, my plan is to help you get higher than 90, hopefully even higher than 100 if you follow my plan, it's going to help you get a very, very high score. You kind of see what we're talking about here? Now, the last thing I want to recommend is maybe every 2 months you can complete a full-length TOEFL IBT practice test. You can find out about these by going to the 8th section of my course. I do offer full-length IBT practice tests to help you. And by completing the practice test, it's going to do 2 things, maybe even 3 things. Number 1, it helps you build the strength and the stamina that you need. So when you actually take the official TOEFL exam, you will be able to concentrate during the 5-hour test that you need. Number 2, it will mark your progress. It will tell you where you are. So you know what your TOEFL goal is. You know what the subtotal scores are that you want to get. So after 2 months of following my program, you complete a full-length IBT practice test so you can see where you are. If you don't meet your goal at that point, you keep with my program, right? And probably after 2 months you will have not met your goal anyway, more than likely, but it'll at least give you a benchmark. You can see where you are. And then 2 months after that, you can take another full-length IBT practice test, again to mark your progress. So do you see what we're saying? So that's kind of what I recommend for you. So based on your specific situation, I have 5 different recommendations for you. Of course, reading every day for 45 minutes. Number 2, practicing listening every day for 45 minutes. The same thing with, and you should be working on your note-taking. Remember that your note-taking will not be good in the beginning. You'll get better as you practice. After you use your notes, you should write 3 250-word summaries each week, and you need to give at least 3 60-second oral responses, and they should be recorded. Now, I'll give you a tip. Because when you take the TOEFL during the speaking section, other people will be recording their voices while you do yours. When you do your practice, your integrated and independent speaking practice, and you do record things using your microphone, turn on the radio in the background, maybe a TV, or if you have roommates who are talking in the kitchen when you're doing your practice in the living room, that would be great. That would be perfect. So it doesn't have to be perfectly quiet, because it will not be quiet during the TOEFL exam. You ever thought about that? And that helps you get used to the distraction. Now, my 4th suggestion, of course, is maybe 1 to 2 hours daily. You're going through the lessons in my online TOEFL course following this specific schedule. First of all, go through the vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar lessons. Once you've done that, then go through the listening and the reading lessons. Once you've completed those, then go through the writing and the speaking lessons. And then while you're doing your practice, maybe every 2 months, you complete a full-length TOEFL IBT practice test so you can build strength and stamina, and you can also mark your progress. And you can understand what your weak points are, and then you can keep working in my course to improve. Alrighty? So I think that's it. So Isa, thank you for your comments. And today is December 19th. And it is very close to Christmas, so I want to wish a happy holiday to you and your family. Merry Christmas to you guys. If you're not religious, don't take it in a religious way, but I'm just saying have a happy holiday to you guys. And thank you for your comments, and all the best to your high-scoring TOEFL success.